Hi all, happy April the 7th. I have been a bit under the weather this week, and when I started to recover from that, I ended up with a migraine this morning, so I look really real today. No makeup, all the things. But I am going to be making dishwasher tabs today, and I just wanted to bring you along for that. When I make dishwasher tabs, these are the things that I use. And I will tell you about how much. I use these ice trays, the ones that have the flexible bottom on them, so they're much easier to get out. One thing that you can do if you struggle is you can always spray like a nonstick or take beef tallow and put on the inside of each cube. I am not going to do that this time. As I said, this is going to be the bare minimum for me today. So I start out by just covering the bottom of these cubes, not the whole depth of the blue, but just to cover the very bottom in a cheap dish detergent. So I do not use Dawn, I do not use Palmolive, I just use a cheap dish detergent, like on the dollar aisle, I think at Dollar General, something like that. This is the next thing, and I use the Arm & Hammer laundry. It's the actual super washing powder, so I use that as the next ingredient, and I will use enough of that to fill up the cell probably about a third of the way. And then I will take a spoon, which I have to go get, and mix it in with the bit of dish detergent that's already in the cell. And I am just going to use just a teaspoon because it is small. And I will just sprinkle these into the cells, and then I will mix it in. So fill the cell maybe like a third of the way. And I got a little bit much in that first one, so I just dip some over. Make sure none of the others are too full. I don't think so. I think that's probably good. So the washing powder and the baking soda, which will be the next thing, I'm just stirring in this washing powder with the dish detergent. Mixing all of this together will prevent it from over-sudsing in your dishwasher. This is totally safe, honestly. It just has the same factors as the tabs that you buy. They're just a more all-natural version. And of course, if you've followed me very long, you know that I am all about reducing costs. So a lot of the reasons that I do things is to reduce cost, so we do not spend as much on these items that we use on a daily basis. Some of you may not use your dishwasher every day, but mine is used every day at least one time, and sometimes multiple times, honestly. Okay, so I need a bit more powder for that cell. It doesn't have enough in it. And when you get enough, you'll know, because when you mix it together, it kind of becomes this white creamy, and it will be filled up to about a third of the cell. So that is the super washing soda. The next thing, we're gonna put about a half, let me get the other. This new baking soda that I have in the bag will be much easier to measure out and spoon than that one in the box. So we're gonna do like the tip end or about a half of the baking soda in each cell. I actually filled the spoon all the way up, and I'm just spooning it in each one of the cells, the amount that I like. The baking soda will help to keep it all, help the cleaning power, but it also will help prevent your dishwasher from smelling eventually. It helps to clean the dishwasher, not just the dishes. So a lot of times people tell you should run a cycle with baking soda to keep your dishwasher healthy and clean and all of that. And if you have this in with the mix, that does help long term with that. So I am mixing in the baking soda. That did not fill. I have a couple that don't have enough of the dish detergent, so I'm just going to put a couple drops of that in those two. Didn't get those quite full enough, I don't think. So mixing it all together. The last thing that I use is I put just a tab of, like I said, the cheap toothpaste, because this will help polish your dishes. Of course it rinses and all the things, but it will help polish your dishes. So I just put just a piece about that big in each one. And I do that after I've mixed them up, so I don't mix this in. I leave this little blob right in the very top, and as it dissolves, this will take a bit longer to dissolve, which you will want to do later in the wash cycle, and it will help rinse clean, just like it does your teeth, all of your dishes and make them shiny and bright without any film on them. That is the idea. So I will bring the camera and show you what this looks like. And then I will put the top on it, put it in the freezer, let it freeze to a solid state. That's it. I will let it freeze to a solid state. And then, as I need a dish tab, I will take one out. I will be able to push it up from the bottom, the same way you would an ice cube. Put it in my dishwasher, it'll stay solid once it's been frozen. And then it will work the same way, of course, without the plastic lining around it. So that's the finished product, and we'll go put that in the freezer now. I hope you guys have a good evening. I definitely plan to.